Muriel. It's Nurse Muriel. To my new subscribers, hey, how y'all doing? Thank you for hitting that subscribe button. Welcome to my oldies but goodies. Y'all already know what it is. Thank y'all for sticking it out with me, watching these videos. Really appreciate it. So today I'm making a video, not meaning to offend anybody. Let me say that first off. This has just always been my thought. This video is going to be for those who are trying to decide should they go to school for their LPN or to become a medical assistant, med tech, something in that realm. So for me to make this video, I need to first give details of the duties for both of those roles. So med techs or medical assistants. I believe those are both one and the same to a degree, but you will commonly find medical assistants working in an office type setting, in a doctor's office. You can possibly find them working in, say, I want to say, I'm not 100% sure on this, but I want to say medical assistants also work in assisted living, passing medication. Now don't quote me on that, because they call themselves med techs and assisted living, and they do pass medication. You can also find med techs working in, I think those are different. Y'all tell me down below. I didn't do no research before I made this video, y'all, so I'm gonna say this is for entertainment purposes only, because I didn't do research outside of this, my lived experience. But in acute care, not acute care, y'all, in assisted living, and it's in assisted living facilities, there are med techs who pass medication. There are also med techs who work in long-term care. So we're going to do the difference in all three, because I'm not sure. I'm really not all the way positive with what's the difference between a medical assistant and a med tech, but I do know you find most medical assistants working in a doctor's office or a nurse practitioner's office, and they typically do the intake on the patient as far as get their information. Sometimes they check their vital signs. I believe some of them get certified as phlebotomists as well, so they're drawing the blood, and they do like the intake, the triaging in the doctor's offices. Med techs, they primarily work in like assisted living and long-term care, and they pass medication. But there are certain things that they cannot do. Like, I don't believe they can give injections, and I don't believe they can pass certain classes of narcotics. If they can pass narcotics at all, I don't believe they can do tube feedings either. If I'm wrong, y'all correct me. I'm just giving a roundabout, because I never worked in either of those fields. I have worked alongside persons who do those jobs though, so I never really found out exactly like what they can do, but this is what I've seen them do. LPNs, I have worked as an LPN. So LPNs, you can find them in so many different job sites, and I did a video about places LPNs can work. I will try to link it down below. Y'all know I'm not good with that, but there are so many different places they work that it's just a lot. You can find them in nursing homes, you can find them in hospitals, you can find them in assisted living facilities, you can find them in doctor's offices, you can find them in jail houses, you can find them just about everywhere. Home health, like a lot of different places. And I forgot to mention that as well. You can find medical assistants, and they can work home health as well. And I think med techs can also. Actually, you don't have to be certified in anything to be a caregiver in home health, to be honest. However, if someone was to come to me and they'd be like, excuse my water empty. If someone wants to come to me and they was like, I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. It's a toss-up between becoming a medical assistant and becoming an LPN. What should I do? I got 2 years to dedicate to it. What should I do? I'm going to tell them LPN. I used to say, and I don't want anybody to get offended by this, because I know some people are going to get offended by this, but this was my thought process with watching a peer of mine, a friend of mine, go through schooling for her medical assistant. And it took like 7 months, y'all. I think it was 7 to 8 months, might have been a year, I can't remember. At that time, I didn't know much about medical assistants. I was already an LPN. I didn't know much about medical assistants. And this was years ago. And when she came out of school, and she landed a doctor's office job. And, you know, she put the scrubs on. She put the stethoscope on. She did all that. Looking at her, you couldn't tell the difference between her and myself. But looking at them paychecks, y'all. No ma'am, no ham. She dedicated 7, 8, 9 months. I can't remember how long it was. It was rather pricey, the schooling for it. And she came out making half of what I was making. As an LPN, she was probably making per hour what I was making when I had just become an LPN. At that time, she probably came out of school making like $9 an hour. And y'all, this was back in the early 2000s. She probably came out making like $9 an hour, but new LPNs were probably coming out making like 16 or 17. I just feel like if you're gonna go to school, the goals of school, I would think the goal of going to school is to be financially stable in the future. And not to say at that time she couldn't be financially stable off $9 an hour, because she could possibly have been, because there were plenty of people who were working, making $9 an hour, who were, you know, sustaining a household. Y'all can believe me if you want, but things were much, much more affordable. Much more affordable. And so, you know, $9, $10 an hour could take you a little further than what it take you now. Right now, it probably just take you down the road to the gas station, get some gas, and go back home. But as time has gone on, I always wonder why people go to school for their medical assistance. Is it just to put on the uniform and the stethoscope? Because unless you, I mean, I always think about making money. I compare it to making money. So there are LPN programs that are just 1 year program. You got to dedicate a lot of time. Some of them be a little pricey now, but you got student loans and you got grants, you got all kind of things you can get to kind of beat down the price. But when you graduate, say a new nurse, a new LPN graduating right now, coming out of school, probably going to get about $29, $30 an hour. And I'm talking in South Carolina. Probably about $29, $30 an hour. If that, and that's on the low end. On the higher end, I'm gonna say probably about $33 an hour. Like, and I'm talking about going like in long-term care or in the jailhouse or something like that. Now, of course, we know the hospitals don't pay like that. For all you who are new, who didn't know, the hospitals do not pay like that for new grads at all. We're going into a long-term care facility, and I talk long-term care because that's what I know. But I do know nurses who work in the prisons as well, and judicial. Well, that's not judicial. Whatever. That's not judicial. That's detention. So working in the detention centers, they making money too. But yeah, new grad LPNs coming out like 29, 30. If there are some still making like 25, they probably in Florida. No shade to those in Florida, y'all, because y'all know they say in Florida don't pay well. Florida probably pay like some of the Midwest states, to be honest. The Midwest states probably pay a little more. I'm gonna be about to choke talking about Florida, child. But here in South Carolina, the good old Carolina of the South, these nurses coming out of LPN school, they making like $29 an hour. Meanwhile, I think the med techs and medical assistant and med techs are probably coming out making like 15, 16. If they're making more than that, y'all let me know. Please let me know, because we all know hospitals, doctor offices are notorious for paying pennies. So yeah, I would tell anybody who's going to school and they're trying to decide between medical assistants and LPN, or med tech and LPN, if they got the time to give, definitely go for your LPN. I mean, you're gonna open up a whole field of opportunity from getting your LPN. I keep talking about nursing home, and I keep talking about detention centers. But y'all, I know LPNs who have, and you don't even have to be an LPN to do this, but I do know LPNs who have their own home health agencies. Like, I work with one who has his own home health agency. He's making money, and he you know, he doesn't have to employ. He employs RNs only to do initial assessments. And it's not that he doesn't know how to do it. He's just not licensed. You can't do it as an LPN doing an initial assessment. I never could grasp why someone would go to school to be a medical assistant. And I do believe I have some medical assistants who watch my channel. Y'all let me know what made y'all go to school to become a medical assistant. Like, was there someone in your family? Did you even consider nursing? Was medical assistance your first step because it was quicker to get into than nursing? Do you plan to go back for nursing? Like, y'all let me know, because I do know for sure I have a subscriber who's a medical assistant, and she did go back for her LPN. I think she's going back for her RN now. But let me know what made you make that decision. I mean, I don't try to be funny, but I think a lot of people do it because it's a career title. They wanted to be in healthcare. It's a career title. And they get to put on the scrub, they get to work in the doctor's office, they do vitals and stuff like that. But y'all can do all that and be a nurse and make double the money. Double the money. And making double the money, you can work less time, because most medical assistants I know, they work Monday through Friday. Most med techs I know work 5 days a week. You could become a LPN, go do you 3 8-hour shifts somewhere, and then more than you made in a week being a medical assistant. Like, anyway, that just popped in my head. The reason I made this video is because I got a co-worker who said that her niece was going to go to school for LPN, and it seemed like they were taking so long getting her into the program. She just went ahead for her medical assistant, and I was telling her, why tell her to go back for her LPN? I promise you she won't regret it. And she was like, her niece was like, you know, she won't get the benefits, the government benefits or whatever that she's getting. And I was telling her, girl, you won't need the benefits. She tell her she won't need the benefits when she get her LPN. I joke around and talk about, you know, wanting food stamps and stuff like that and all that. But you could tell me you give me 1,000 food stamps a month, and I ain't gonna stop working. I'll give up them stamps for my I'll give up them stamps for what I make working. Some of y'all may know this, but I have a child who's autistic, and at one time he was getting government, you know, disability or whatever. But it came to a point where they told me I had an overpayment because I was supposed to report my income every month, which I didn't know. I'm thinking, okay, he's disabled, he gets disability. So they were like, no, you're supposed to be reporting your income every month. So when I started reporting my income, and people said I had a $5,000 overpayment. And so in order to pay that back, what they did was I would report my income every month and say he qualified for $70 that month. They would keep a certain percentage of it to pay back the overpayment. But the only way for me to get his full amount of his payment was for me to work like 10 hours a week. My son hasn't received anything. He's 19. He hasn't received anything since he was 6 years old. I'm not about to be working less to get no. I'm not going to work less to get government assistance. I never was in that mind frame. That type of person that would do that. I'm going to make 2 times, 3 times as more working than I would with the government giving me what they're giving me now. Would I like to have those benefits? Oh, I would love to have them. But am I going to sit home just to get them? No, I'm not going to do that. Am I going to not work and go out here and make $3,000 just so I can get $900 for free? Not going to do that. But anyway, hope y'all enjoyed this video. You can comment down below. Did I tell y'all? Y'all know I engage in the comment section. And I will see you on the next one. Bye.